Welcome back to the pack, guys, and welcome to another week of Arena Watch Podcast. We just got done with week 51 weightless, and we're on to week 52, C and below, 80 weight. Sorry for the delay. I accidentally hit record instead of start streaming, so I wonder if I could just pull that up. Where would my record end up anyway? That would be interesting if I could just find it so I don't have to figure out that whole conversation. But other than that, I don't know. So we just got done with the week. I was just discussing what happened. Why is C Week so far behind? I mean, they've put it off for a very, very long time, and we're just now getting it. Why did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta encourage the players to pull for the shiny new units. So they had to scoot Marshall week up for Duel. They had to scoot Zam week up, Zam Caster week up for Rapthorn. You always need your weightless weeks interspersed there at least once a month, and then C week just gets squeezed in wherever it can fit.
Yeah. So we didn't get it in line with JP, but we did get it eventually. So that's good. Still can't find this file wherever this is, and I would have just loved to play this recording instead of what we actually have going on here. But let's see if there is a way of checking, because there should be. Tools, help. There's no search. Doc, view, edit, file, show recordings. Oh, there it is. Where's... I just hit it, though. Show... Oh, here it is. All right, let's see. Hold on. See, let me hit scene again. So I'm going to hit scene 3, and hopefully I'll just add a window capture here, and you guys could just see the recording. Okay.
Oh, I can hear you again.
Yep. There it should be. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Let me have that playing again. It's on ×2 speed, so this shouldn't take, well, 1.5 speed, so it shouldn't take too long. Welcome back to the pack, guys, and welcome to another week of Arena Watch Podcast. We just got done with week 51, weightless, and now we're moving on to week 52, C and below, 80 weights, and that's been a long time coming. What happened? Why is this week only here just now?
Well, we had to encourage people to get all the fancy new units. So they had to bring up Marshall Week, and then they had to bring up Zam Week, and then C Week just gets slotted in there wherever.
Pretty much. Yeah, but we're finally getting it. So the people that always wanted it, I think Kage said that it would have been interesting. A few other people said it would have been interesting a long time. I don't know if that's their opinion now. People that quit thought it would have been interesting. I think Purplatpus wanted to see this week for a very long time because he's like, I want to see like a really cool restriction because we never get to use those units. Well, we're finally going to get to use those units. It's not going to be as cool and as diverse as we thought it would be, but it should still be interesting. How do we do, though, for week 51? How'd we all do? We all got perfect scores, right?
Yeah, at least, everyone did better than Trop. That's a sore point, but I'm going to say it because he's not here. So
he's here in spirit. He's here, but he's not here because he's muted. But he's here in spirit.
Price you pay when you don't speak up. Now, Trop got screwed over. He had another perfect week, but he got hit by the disconnect glitch.
Which we still assume could most likely be server side at this point. Could still be on the player end, but it would be very strange if it was. There's still a chance.
It's hard to pin down exactly what causes it. We know what causes it in like when it happens, but we don't know why it happens. So, but yeah, so that was rough. But we're gonna just give him the 7-week streak. He hasn't lost any points in 7 weeks, so that's a fantastic streak for him. I have lost points for 3 weeks straight. So I was trying to do. You'd think I'd learned my lesson, but I was trying to do my matches while putting my kids to sleep, and I did not even look at the turn order. So I got hit by double breath from Great Dragon, and what I can only assume was Beastmaster Claw's Halberd. And it took out my duel, and then I ended up later on losing a King She Slime as well. But that was a entirely avoidable matchup or point loss if I had paid any amount of attention. So there's that.
Wait, is the stream not live? Are we not up here?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm driving, so I didn't check the. I usually bring up the YouTube, but I didn't.
Oh, I hit record instead of stream. Oh shit. Well, there we go. Damn it. Okay. All right. Well, we'll give this another shot. So what was that last bit I was saying there before I noticed that that Celery was saying? What were you saying there, Celery?
It was another week. I think I stand by my assessment of the 3-turn arena that there's basically no such thing as an impossible match to perfect. You pretty much, if you make perfect plays, you should be able to perfect just about every matchup. I mean, even look at Thiago. Thiago had some really cool plays recently where he's 1-2-8'd Artea. He had another one where he used a bunch of status effects to great effect to get another 1-2-8 on a very a whale team. He was definitely overmatched in terms of awakenings and power level.
He does that a lot, but at the same time, he doesn't have perfect weeks that often.
No, it's not about him having. It's just showing
that you can. Yeah.
There's always making the perfect plays will almost always. And I've yet to see a matchup, honestly, where I was like, okay, there's no way I can avoid losing points. I guess the closest thing that I've seen is I know a couple of people have hit 4-turn matchups by passing turn 1 against like a Kirill, and where they weren't able to finish off that Kirill by the end of turn 3. And even one of those was Trop, where if he had made a perfect play on turn 1 instead of completely passing, he would have got that perfect. So
I don't know. I've had matchups this week. I did a bunch of test matches, and I saw a few where I was like, okay, these aren't, at least with my box, weren't perfectable. I did notice that, especially with the waitlist week, because it does get pretty crazy sometimes. Trop's team's easy to 1-2-8, especially if you have Dolmagus and some of the newer units. I think back in the day you could have maybe made the argument that he was almost not 1-2-8able for certain boxes. But I think most teams, you're right, most teams are 1-2-8able as long as you have the prep. But no, it was this week. In the beginning of the week, what was interesting is because people were up against bots. Bots aren't positioned all in the middle. But towards the end of the week, everyone was in the middle. Why? Because other players were in the middle. And to take out a team in the middle, you put all your units in the middle. So towards the end of the week, everything was super easy. But in the first day, it was horrible because people were up against bots. And that's just how it was or whatever, right? Day 1, I didn't do bots. I wasn't sure if I was going to intentionally skip them quite yet, but that's what I did end up doing. So I skipped the bots. It was super late because I had a long day, and when I came home, I was just going to stream and go to bed. So it was already night pack mode there. But when I did, I think a lot of the players already, like high-level players and whales went in to do the bots day 1 because, they know better, right? So they went in to do the bots early, and when I loaded up my box, it was horrendous. The bucket. When I loaded up the bucket for matches to choose between, it was horrendous. And even the second match, it was still bad, and there was a bot there that I could have chosen to cheat out. But the match that I did go against, I had a 40% chance of not losing points. I lost points anyways because of something stupid, but night pack. But I forgot, Great Dragon could breath me. For some reason I thought, I'm in the clear. It's like, no, I physical locked him. I didn't breath lock him. You know what I mean? So he still had his breath. So I still lost points, but I only had 40% chance to win that match. Like at all, from start to finish, when I loaded into it, because it was too late, if I had different units, maybe it would have been different. But with that match, and that was maybe the easiest match out of that bucket, that wasn't the bot, or it would have been almost the easiest match. I don't know. You could make arguments that some of the other matches would have been easier. Maybe I made a mistake choosing that one. But it was shocking, how that no matter what I wanted to do with that match, I would have lost points, right? Like, it would have been RNG. So I was successful with the RNG, and I screwed myself over, but the match itself was, at least for my team, unwinnable without RNG. So, unperfectable without RNG, which is already, for me, a failure. So, I started off the week with minus 16. It's probably the last time I'm going to listen to Metazoa. But, is what it is.
Yeah, just, going on a no bots challenge next to the guy.
Whale week is not the week to go no bots challenge, right? Whale week is not the week to do it, especially day 1 when all the whales do show up in your bucket and it's all weightless. It's like, that's not the week to do it. That's never the week to do it. So, I don't know.
Plus, the guy making the challenge has just maxed out four units. Starting from Duel, then Rapthorn, then Hadler, and now Dragonoid Baron. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he's gonna wanna really push his team to the max. Next to compared to free to play pack over here, just Oh man, let me hope
Because
more
for
things
him, it's
try to
boring. He needs a little bit more of a challenge, right?
need
Put
some
himself on
challenge.
an edge. I mean, sometimes I could use one, but it really depends. Like towards the end of the week, the weirdest thing is my very last bucket. All 5 of them were bots. So I
Huh.
failed bot week either way.
Well, he gave that as an out. That's why I said technically I followed
But
the rules
I,
for the no bots challenge.
I followed the rules and went further because some people, they loaded in day 1 and there were bots in their bucket, right?
That's
So
what I did.
yeah. So I didn't load in early on day 1. I loaded in late. Late enough that it was all whales, but not late enough that it was everybody else.
Yeah.
So it was even worse. So I loaded up. I don't know. I feel like last day, and I get all bots. Because the pass was day 1, right? Because I assume statistically, it's never happened to me before where I got all bots.
Draconic Dynamos down there is taunting us.
Yeah, Draconic Dynamos. You know what? He counts as not a bot. We'll say that. So,
Yeah.
due to Celery's experience with them, he's definitely not a bot. So,
Which bot was it that took out Trop?
I don't know.
All right. I'm gonna assume it was Draconic Dynamos.
I don't think it was. There's another bot that could crit. I think can't. Like if what's his face crits with typeless Nightclubber, and then someone else follows up.
Yeah.
Couldn't that kill you? That could. Squid
Yeah,
could definitely.
Squid could the same way Royal Reptile does. Hell's Ushers.
Yeah. So that's what that all was. But I don't know. Hell's Ushers. Let's read. Can't hear anything. Chipmunk version. My bots have 3-week streak. Taking points. Okay, this is going to be easy. 4th week. Hell's Ushers. All right. Well, I think we pretty much covered all of last week because it's just what's there to talk about. It's a weightless week. There's no recaps. It was one of the shorter podcasts, just clocking in just over an hour rather than an hour 30 like we usually do. So, this week though, 80 weight. I mean, what are you gonna even bring with 80 weight? You could bring one, S rank. No, you can't bring in anything below, above a C. So, just C and below. So we do have the most foremost thing to note for the week, other than the weight, which is part of the rules, other than just the restriction, is there's no HP boost and there's no damage reduction. We've never had that combination before. I honestly think the week would still be winnable even with the HP increase and the damage reduction, or at least just one of them. I still think the week would be winnable, but this makes it downright easy. Because it's 3-turn arena, and your opponent has no HP to survive your hits. What does that tell you, Celery? What are you going to do? If they have no HP to survive your hits, what are you going to do?
You're going to go blitz. You're going to try like maximum range, maximum damage, try and take out
I feel like
all of the threats.
It's going to be fun for Metazoa because he's been practicing the opposite strategy from us for all these weeks, and now he has to just go right back into this. And he has no choice. None of the units that he bought can help him with this one. Oh my god!
Not a whole lot of wailing out on C units.
No, there isn't. It's unfortunate. I really needed a tome campaign. My abilities are like at +8, +9. Some of them on the actually everything's +10. The only ones that aren't +10 yet are the Drachima and Draki. Surprisingly, for the Sizz and the boom and compressed boom. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's
But it's all right. It's like +8, +9, some of them. So I should be okay. And I'm still going to bring them because I have a little bit of Awakening Plus on both of them, I think. So they should be pretty powerful. And I prepped my cub ahead of time. He's Awakening Plus. He's maxed on his agility and attack. I mean, like,
nice.
maxed. So that's good. I wonder if I could just pull up a picture of what I'm gonna. No, I'll just explain it. So the team that I'm gonna. Did I throw it in the? Where did I throw it? It must have been the important info or something on the Discord. Show me your polls. Show me your team building. It must have been team building, right? Team building. Oh goodness, I'm not seeing it. I'm just gonna search pack and then includes images. From pack includes images. Has images. That should make it come up. Oh, there's a lot of memes here. Okay, great. Okay, there it is. So I got looks like Man of War, Drachima, Canny Box, Saber Cub, and Draki. And they're all bloomed. Obviously, Man of War's Awaken Plus maxed because he's a gotcha unit. Drachima's at like 7 for his Awakening Plus. I think Canny Box is at 6. Cub is at 12. I'm assuming my Draki is at 6 as well. I don't know. But yeah, I have them all built with agility apart from Drachima and Draki. So the way I'm going is Slime Claw, the Martial Claw, for Man of War. And I was surprised because outside of Arena, like he was only doing like 300 something damage, like 304. I can't remember, 310 something damage with Brilliance with the claw too. So he's not doing that much damage. But, you know, the status effects are going to be nasty, so I'm going to bring it anyway. And the AoE is pretty good. So he's pretty fast, so he'll have that on with, like, the liquid metal armor for HP. I could give him an HP stick and make him even more, you know, annoying for the enemy. I'm probably going to just give the boom butterfly baton or whatever it is called to Drachima, just a mage robes. I'm going to probably give Beast Master Claw to Canny Box. Make sure he definitely outspeeds any enemy cubs and slime, so he could just sleep them. I have him taught with Hellfire Slash, which is at +10. I think his sleep attack is at +9. But Soothing Strike, I think it's called. It's like typeless, starts off at 195%. It's pretty good. As long as someone's weak to sleep, it puts them out too. So he has that.
Yeah, starts at 60, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So he has Beastmaster Claw and Liquid Metal Vest. That's the Canny Box. I have Ruff's Claws on Saber Cub. Probably don't even need to give him that. I could probably just give him the Golden Claws. Again, there's no damage reduction, so I might want to make sure his Blizzard Rush also can kill people. And I think the Golden Claws, the Pyramid Claws, I think those would boost his other attack too. Because I'm pretty sure his whoosh attack is going to kill just about anybody that's weak to it or otherwise. So I might not even bring
probably
that.
Even things that are neutral to it. It hits hard.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to switch that out for the Gold Claws now that I think about it. I'm going to test that out. But my Gold Claws have a little bit of attack and a little bit of agility on them, so it should be stronger in that regard. I'm going to give him the Beastly Jacket, obviously. And then what else do we have here? We have Draki, and Draki, I'll just give him the Dark Crystal Staff and robes and call that a day. That's my team. But what are the? I think someone posted JP's tier list here, and I think it's not quite accurate, but someone posted it here anyway. It was S tier was obviously Saber Cub, and then behind it in S tier was Drachima, which I thought was interesting. It's a good unit, but if you're gonna sleep someone, you would want someone who was 3 move and a lot faster, hence Canny Box, right? Then in A tier they have Grenade or whatever, Stone Grenade. I don't know what he's called. Grenade. Oh, he grins. Grenade. Okay, so he has a rolling attack that's a bit stronger than the C rank armor dude, demon armor dude, right? So the C rank demon armor, they both have 3 movement, but this guy has more attack, I think more agility too, so he just hits a bit harder. Behind him is the Mummy Boy. I think Mummy Boy has a sleep attack, other things like that. I wouldn't rely on 40% chance, so no Mummy Boy for me. He's 3 movement, which is nice, but meh. And then behind Mummy Boy, it's the C rank cub, the Tiger Cub, right?
Yep, Tiger.
So there's a lot of demons here, and I think he has Demon Demeanor.
Demon Demeanor.
So he's gonna hit Drachima, Drakes. He's gonna one-shot all those guys. You could teach him another ability, like maybe Frizz. Frizz will help him take out the Saber Cub or some of these other units here. Slimes, all the slimes that aren't, the other kind of slime. So you could probably teach him that, and he'd be good in that regard, or you could give him utility. In B tier, we're looking at some sort of Mandrake, the yellow one with the Blizzard Rush and 3 movement built in. So he's pretty good. I just don't see him as being stronger than the other, the Slime Knight. Doesn't the Slime Knight have 3 movement with his bloom? Or does he not?
Yeah,
so he's better.
I can't see ever using the C rank Mandrake over the D rank Slime Knight.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Slime Knight doesn't have as much movement. 3 is not as good as like Saber Cub with 4, and he has less attack, less agility. I think he has comparable HP. His stat spread is just weird. He has some points in his wisdom and other things. It's like, why? So the Slime Knight looks a bit weird compared to Saber Cub, who's just amazing. So I'm not even going to bother with him, honestly. It just doesn't fit with my comp, so I'm not going to bring it. But behind here, they have Man War in B tier behind the... See, I would have moved Man War A tier in front of Grenade. Yeah, Grenade. I would have put him above him, probably. And then below here, they have, for the Fuddle, they got... and this is not a bad pick, right? Like, who are you fuddling? Like, the boxes, all the other inorganics can be fuddled, right? So it's really just Canny Box that he's countering. So I don't know, because I could just kill Canny Box with a very high agility Saber Cub. So I'm probably not going to bother bringing... what's Lump Mage? Shaman?
Yeah,
Lump Shaman. So, I don't know. I would still put Canny Box ahead of these guys. I would literally... It's probably my team. I would just shift these around, but this is just what JP's doing, right? So all those guys, that Mandrake dude, the Man of War, Lump Shaman, Canny Box, and the other Slime Knight are on D tier. They got... in C tier, they have the Foo Dog, the C rank one. I'm assuming since he has a, a C rank ability for his attack, you might want to teach him something else. Then they have the C rank Buffalo Wing or whatever he's called. He's pretty good. It's just he does everything that Saber Cub does, but worse. So just get Saber Cub. I would actually put this Ghost ahead of him because it's a form of Zam that you could get, a Zamel, at 4 movement, and this guy has a bit more HP than Ghost. So even though Ghost, he has a bloom, so he has a little bit of nodes and damage for the Zamel and whatnot, and wisdom through that, I still would bring Fightgeist because it's only 80 weight. You could fit him in if you want to fit in. I could definitely have this guy over Drachima if I don't need Drachima for the bang. I could bring this guy instead, basically, for the Zamel. So I would put Fightgeist much higher up in this tier list because it's a form of Zam that you could use. Whereas you're not going to be bringing Ghost. He's just too weak. Below here we got below the Fightgeist we have the Squid Kid, or is it the blue one? Is that Squid Kid or is that the other one?
It's one of the two. I think
the
it's
better
Squid
one.
Kid. The other one's Calamari Kid. I don't know which is which.
I think Calamari Kid's the yellow one. But yeah, I think this is Squid Kid. He's pretty good. He has that martial attack, and I think he has a little bit of CC with it, right?
Yeah, it has a chance to stun.
That's not.
I think it might even be occasional.
Yeah, that's not bad. It
might even be occasional, so it's pretty solid. Do some damage and have a decent chance of stunning. Not guaranteed, but still not the worst option.
Yeah, so I wouldn't bring him, but I wouldn't blame someone if they wanted to, right? So, but it's definitely better than some of the other units in this C tier, I think. And then below that is the Archer, because he has a 195 attack, assuming you don't care about the poison, because the poison doesn't really matter. I mean, actually, it's not being reduced, so it's not bad. But, I mean, who are you going to use it against? A dragon? There's only one there, and I don't think a lot of people are going to bring it. I think Drachima is weak to poison, so that you could do that maybe. So he's possible. He has a strong hit, and it's typeless. He has a decent amount of attack, so with Flail, he could actually hit harder than some of these other units with Brilliance on their abilities. So he's not bad. And then I'd be careful about bringing some of these other units because slotting in, like if you have 3 C units, how much weight is that already?
60.
60, right. So that leaves room for a D rank and an F rank. So you don't want to bring, so in D tier you have the Falco guy, Hawkman, the D rank 4 move Hawkman dude. I would teach him an ability because he only has C rank abilities, so they're pretty weak. I just wouldn't bring him because Cub exists, because Canny Box exists. So if you want to bring a D rank, make it be Cub, make it be Canny Box. Heck, I'm not even going full weight because I'd rather choose Canny Box over another C rank. So I'd rather just bring Cub and Canny Box over bringing Cub and a C rank. So I'm going double C rank, I'm going double D rank, and I'm going F with, say, Draki, because Draki hits pretty hard. You could do Slime. Yep. Slime has way more HP and hits comparably. And he has, he can retaliate, counterattack basically with his Scorch. So he's pretty good. So you could really go either way with those. You could go Slime or Draki, whatever your play style is. But I definitely would not bring Hawkman. I wouldn't bring any of the E ranks. As good as they are for healing and whatnot. Like, I'd rather just rush the enemy than try to prolong the fight and risk a crit, from the enemy or something. That's what I would say. So I think the most common what's it called, permutation is C, 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 D, and F. But I would recommend C, C, D, D, F. So actually going underweight. But that's just me. What do you think about permutations here, Celery?
I pretty much agree. I think that depending on, because I don't know the status resistances of C and below units, so if there's especially if Cub or any of the heavy hitters, if they're weak to physical lock or spell lock, I think Stump Trump could be an option at E rank, especially if you're already going the double D. You could do a Stump Trump instead of an F, and it could be an option if you have that guaranteed physical lock. But you're probably just going to kill them anyway. That just frees up so that you're not worried about ensuring you kill the cub turn 1. If it is, because I think it might be weak to physical lock.
But the Stump Chump is just so slow, and I have to give the Beastmaster Claw, to Canny Box and other units, so I don't know.
Yep. But yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it. It's going to be like I do think that Tiger Cub is going to be really solid with the number of demons available. Maybe not every match, but any time you see like Dracula, I probably have a good.
And then just choose another element that isn't covered just by demons. So whatever, I think Frizz for, Cub or something else. Choose like Zam or Frizz or something.
Slime,
and then teach him that ability, pretty much.
Yep.
Hellfire Slash or something.
And I agree on the ghost. There's a decent number of the powerful units that are weak to Zam. So the ghost and Fightgeist, they have some great targets available for. I expect to see a lot of matchups where they're going to be hitting for brilliant. I don't expect, like, maybe if you're up against a team with a lot of whoosh weakness and whoosh neutral, maybe you do bring in the Buffalo Wing. But otherwise, he completely just overlaps with the Cub. So, yeah, I do think Cannabox is the second best unit after Cub. Having that sleep is really powerful. There's, being able to hit Slime and Cub and probably Man-O-War. Most Slimes are weak to it, so. And for Man-O-War, you're going to want to either save him for late, which won't be terribly difficult because he doesn't hit really hard, or avoid hitting him with physical and martial because he has that occasional chance to paralyze.
So that's why he's weak to what, Frizz and Zam, or is it something else?
I think it might be Whoosh and Zam.
Let me check.
I have to check, see if the bot is.
I know he might be atypical from a typical slime, so he might not be Frizz and Zam like a regular slime would be.
So let's see.
So you're kind of like making him similar to, say, Queen Slime being a bit different, or She Slime with the different weakness types than the regular blue slimes. Let me see. Can't find him. Okay, there he is. Alright, so we're looking at resistance. He's weak to Frizz and Zam, so he is typical. Resistance to Crack and Bang. So, yeah, he's very typical. So, because I did teach Canny Box Hellfire Slash, I should be able to take care of him that way. I don't know if Canny Box is particularly weak to Paralyze. I know he is to Confusion. Looks like he has half resistance for Paralyze or Paralysis, which might not be enough. I do like guarantees. I wouldn't mind risking it because it's like, if I know he did his job anyway, and everybody else is, took out their units, because I'm going for a really quick strat. If he attacks, turn 1 or turn 2 before Man-O-War gets his chance to affect my team, yeah, that's going to be fairly good for me. I'm not going to mind. Maybe we should check on the Discord really quick. Any units that are immune to paralysis, because that might be important. I'm just gonna check that really quick. What do I type for that? It's like card something. Okay, I'm on the bottom. List. Okay, you got it. Okay.
Immune
Paralysis. And then you'll probably just type in para or something. I have to type it out. Okay.
All right. So Fight Geist, which doesn't particularly matter. Mummy Boy, which might.
So
Phantom Pincer.
Mummy Boy has the Zam, so that's pretty good. He could. I guess that's why he was so high up in the tier list, because he'd be countering. He'd be countering.
Yeah, I think he has the B rank Zam /2, so he hits pretty hard.
Fight Geist, I think, would hit hard too, but you know, it's Zam is already pretty good. Just the fact that he has Zam, he's, you know, if the guy does not die from the hit and he moves up and hits Fight Geist, at least you know Fight Geist won't get paralyzed from that hit. So it's still good that he has paralyzed resist. Don't be like, oh well, he's a mage, he's casting a spell, so why does it matter if he has immunity? You never know. So there's that.
Yeah. You got Fight Geist and Ghost, and then Mummy Boy. So
and then in the D ranks, so Fight Geist, Mummy Boy, those are the important ones. And then you said Ghost. Okay. Anything in D rank? No, there isn't.
Nope.
Nothing good. Yeah, those are the only three. Those are your options. And let's see, Ghost.
Which all serve as a. They all have Zam, and so they all serve as a pretty effective counters to the mana war.
Not to mention zap resist, heavy zap resist with the Ghost, and I believe if Ghost has it, Fight Geist probably has it too.
Yep.
Okay. Mummy Boy, let's check Mummy Boy, make sure. I mean, they're all undead, so they're probably following along the general archetype for the undead.
Yep.
Let's see. Where's Mummy Boy? Oh, I only have him at C6. That's not good. Alright, so yeah, he's Zap Res, Bang Res, weak to Frozen Sizz. Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same.
Yep.
They're and especially the cool thing about Fight Geist and Mummy Boy is they're both gotcha units, so you have them awakened to max for awakened.
Yeah, they're.
Yep. Okay, so Fight Geist's resistance are slightly different. He does have the Zap, but he doesn't have Bang. It's Whoosh instead of Bang. Same thing with So even though they're both undead, it's a little bit different. Like his weaknesses are Sizz and Crack. Mummy Boy's is Frizz and Sizz, and then his resistances are Whoosh and Zap, whereas Mummy Boy is Bang and Zap. But you know, Fight Geist. I mean, Fight Geist and Ghost are the same. So
Yep.
All that matters, they all resist Zap. Yeah. Oh yeah, Whoosh. That's not bad. That's another good point. Is if you really want to counter, because I don't know if they're going to be building Crack the way we do. If they're building Crack, you're screwed at either way. But if you're building Whoosh resistance, he might be able to survive. Heck, maybe even a crit, because he doesn't have any defense anyways. A crit against a Saber Cub, that would be insane. If you built him with HP, he could probably survive a crit.
Yep.
And some follow up. So yeah, things to consider. I don't sleep on Mummy Boy. He didn't look so bad there just now, just from the counters. I think we realized that just reading into it a little bit here. Definitely more important than units like some of these other units like Buffalo Wing, you know, because those two are both like C rank units that have decent movement and have B rank elemental abilities, and I think a lot of people would look at the fact that Buffalo had more attack and more movement and go towards him, more agility. But yeah, Mummy Boy is definitely better for this week. Fight Geist is definitely better than Buffalo this week. What else is so he's weak to Zam and Frizz, so you could also do like Frizz attack. So If you taught any Frizz or Zam to your Tiger Cub, he's fine. I would preferably go for Frizz. I think that's more common of a weakness than Zam, unless I'm mistaken.
I mean, they're sharing a lot
They
of
share a
units.
lot. There's a lot of overlap, but I feel like Frizz is more common. I feel like, I don't know. That's what I would teach him, because I feel like there are some, not all, but I feel like there might be some more demons that are weak to. Are they more demons that are weak to Zam than Frizz? I have no idea. I don't think demons are weak to either generally. Yeah, I think they resist Zam and Frizz usually. So having that ability and then having demon demeanor, you should be fine.
Yep.
Any other things you guys want to note? I think Trop is definitely going to be the expert this week. He's prepped a very long time coming with all his gold and all his resources. He's an arena main, guys. Of course he's on top of things this week. He's going for that perfect. I think he'll have it. With the amount of prep he did, I think he'll have it anyway. I think it's going to be an easy week to win.
Guys, behave.
Looks like Mystic is leaning towards CCCDF.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
Yeah? What are you bringing?
And to be fair, I don't think, this is completely optimal, but I don't train a whole lot of units, so I just picked a handful to train, and so I'm going with Dracula, Man of War, and the Archer guy, doing Venomates, and then
So
the
you're
Saber
skipping.
Cub and the Ghost.
Okay, you're still bringing Saber Cup. Good. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not
Because I'm
bad.
like, maybe a Venomate's pretty good, especially if they don't have that much health. Even if I don't kill them on my turn, after they attack, they'll be dead. So it could be good.
There's only who's weak to it. I know that Dracula is weak to it. I don't know who else is weak to it. The dragon's weak to it. Let me check. Weak to. All right, what was it? Envenomate, poison.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's that good of a pick, but I realized he was one of the units that I got to rank 7.
Okay,
and
here
I'm
it is. So we got Dracima, Dracky Mage, Dracky, Starkraven, Winky, Hawkman, Chimera, Dracolite. None of those. Mandrake Major is probably going to be. No, that's the D rank one. Peeper, Salamander Fry, Mandrake, Mercenary, Jargon, Drachy. You said that. Hocus Chimera, Quay Horse. I guess we don't have that one yet. Mandrake Soldier. So yeah, it's really going to be Mandrake Mercenary, and Dracula and maybe Hawkman, maybe Dracky. Those are your real guys that you could be poisoning. I don't think any of those other than Mandrake. Mandrake Mercenary have a lot of HP though. But yeah, you could just land the Envenomate because maybe you want to rely on chance because your units aren't. So you said it was the Poison Archer. You had the Tiger Cub. You said.
Yeah, Dracula.
Oh, Dracula. What was the third C rank? It was Man of War. Okay, so he's definitely trying to torture people here. And then he's going Cub. And I think Cub is going to carry most teams. Even though you don't have the optimal team, I don't think it will matter. You'll just build agility. Is that where you're going to build? You're going to build agility?
No, she thinks
I honestly don't even know what I'm going to build. I wasn't super prepared for this week because I'm like, it's never coming back, right? So I don't know how much I want to prepare for this one.
You got your streak though. This C rank is going to end your streak.
Oh shit! Yeah, if I don't invest, that's
hey,
fair.
it's.
Did
Did you know ahead of time that there would be no damage reduction, and no HP increase?
No,
Like-
I think just when you told me, initially I was completely hopeless. I'm like, people are losing points this week with all that stuff because a lot of the C and below units have a lot of CC abilities. So it's easy for Knight Pack or Knight any of us to wander into a CC ability and get our unit disabled from not. Gosh, I think maybe this will cost people turns or something. Like Mana War, like I said, could be torturous. A lot of the best units are physical, right, on this tier. And even if you hit him with the Cub and you kill him, Cub still gets disabled for a turn, so then you have to come back strong on turn 3 with the Cub. So it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm. But there is that turn 3, so that's the crazy thing, is these units don't have a lot of HP. They have a lot of damage. At least most of them don't have HP, apart from, Mana War. They have a lot of damage. Damage isn't being reduced. HP is not being increased. And you have 3 turns. So, I mean, the scariest thing that could happen with your Cub being paralyzed is that someone might kill it. That's probably the scariest thing that might happen. But I don't know if you would lose... I don't know if you would end up going 4 turns. You know what I mean? But I think you'll be fine. If you're gonna rush them, you should be fine. Is that what you're planning on building now that you've heard about the whole HP and everything else being changed?
I don't know if I have time to change things too much. I know
No, because there's no investment in that. That's your current weapons that you already own. Like what are you going to put on them for equipment?
Probably Rapthorn Staff on Dracula, which is only made. Flail on Archer. Some weird whoosh claws on the Cub. I'm trying to think.
Do you have him taught with any other abilities other than whoosh? Does he have the Blizzard Rush taught?
Oh yeah, he does. I did teach him that for like an A and below week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have that as well. That's good to know.
Do you want to boost the whoosh, or do you want to boost both for agility? Because you do have other claws that are more generalized for both elements.
Oh, like just generally physical potency claws?
Like if you rolled either the knuckles from Carver, or you could have rolled the golden claws from the pyramid EX thing. Those both have 2% potency physical, and they have attack and agility rolls on them. So that's a decent claw to give if you're going to give a claw. Or you could just go Beastmaster Claw, go balls to the walls, agility if you wanted.
Those are some decent options. I didn't think about it too much. Yeah, everyone else is pretty self-explanatory. Just give the slime claws to the slime. Unless you want to torture people and give him HP.
Slime claws to the slime? You mean the Man of War or the actual slime?
Oh, the Man of War, yeah. I assume that's the slime that people will be using, but I guess there are other ones. There are Slime Knight that some people use, and there's the F-tier slime.
Yeah, the Slime Knight's physical, the F-tier slime's breath. I would give a lot of HP to the F-tier slime, or at least give it the, Infernal Sword or something.
They're going to use it. For me, it's still rank 5, so I'm not using that one this week.
Yeah, but I guess everyone else that did do PvE stuff invested heavily into slime because he has some crazy counters that he could do with his counterattack.
Yeah, I'm almost certainly going to be running slime as my F rank. Maybe Ghost on when there's a lot of Zam weakness to hit.
Yeah. I'm going to definitely be switching it around, but sometimes I'll be bringing slime instead of Draki. But I think Draki's more powerful for his hit, but slime is just more reliable, maybe. Not with his range, but everything else. He's just safe and whatnot. And I do have him Awaken Plus more because he shows up on other battle when I was trying to farm for certain units, he would often be on that thing anyway. So I have a whole bunch of him. So I have his like HP and his defense are like maxed for the Awakening Plus.
Yeah, so I think like the what will determine how useful slime is how often he can bait attacks that aren't aren't physical and gonna kill him if they crit.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can tank even and this is going to be where like what I think might be one of the more interesting parts of the week are being able to predict where enemies will move to attack him, so you can try and line up multiple counters in a turn. We might even be able to, between his auto meditate and his slime power at low HP, you might even be able to fairly safely bait some Zamel type from the ghost.
Well, Slime has an attack roll, so he's not gonna behave all weird. Other than that's his passive, is the passive meditate thing. But I did teach mine a long time ago. I think I taught him No, I had to delete it then, I guess. I had meditate on him or something. He was healing himself, but I guess I switched it for sap. But yeah, so he's an attack roll. Man of War is not a debuff. He's looks like he's a tank. He's defense roll. I don't know. Most of these other units are just attack roll or mages. I think the only debuff is Drachima. So that's going to be annoying for people on defense is Drachima. So if you really want to screw people, you would build your Drachima with agility. For no reason, I'm just throwing that out there. If you really want to ruin people's week this week, you'd give Drachima a crap ton of agility. It's not going to help you, but it's going to ruin everybody else. He is a debuff. He's the only debuff in this tier list, I think, that we mentioned. Maybe Mummy Boy is. Let me check. Yeah, Mummy Boy might be, but that doesn't really matter because he's a debuff. Unless if you teach him like some sort of breath or something, then that would be pretty funny. Fightgeist is a magic. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Maybe Lump Shaman might be debuff.
Happy that you're my dog.
Yeah, he's debuff. So Lump Shaman could screw people's weeks.
So happy that you're my baby.
Yeah, because he'd go in for the fuddle if he didn't have the kill. That about sums it up for me. What about you guys? You were talking about how the AI was moving and whatnot.
Oh yeah, just trying to. I think it'll be fun to try and line up counters with slime because it's a breath attack, so you'll counter everything that's within that free range. So you could potentially get multiple counters in a turn if you can get multiple things to try and hit you.
Hopefully they don't crit you when they hit you, but
yeah, that'll be the trick. Gotta. But you can probably survive one crit and then heal back with meditate, the auto meditate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially if it's like a whoosh or bang. I think since he's resistant to those.
Bang.
Yeah. But he'd probably go to sleep at that point if he took a bang. He'd go to sleep because it would be Drachima. Just danger there.
Only like a occasional, I guess. Is it rare on hit?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
there's
in his
no.
attack, and it's in his attack, and then he has a 10% increase, so it's a 20% chance. So it'd be 40% chance on him if it was the bang
Yeah.
attack instead of the snooze.
There's
But he's gonna go for the snooze because he's a debuff unit. So his first thing is gonna be
gonna go.
snooze, and then he's gonna go for damage after that on turn 2 and 3.
Yep. So, yeah,
So yeah.
is probably don't try and bait the counters on against Dracula. You're just gonna get put right to sleep.
Yep.
Same with Candy Box. But
Yep.
that'll be interesting. I think. I don't know. I guess depending on the lineup, I think Ghost might end up being the most useful F rank just for movement purposes. If you're charging in already, you might not be able to hit on turn 1 with Dracula or Slime.
Was I being sarcastic, guys? Nocturne was asking.
It's a prank.
I guess we'll never know. It's a prank. Yeah, it's a prank. We'll have to type that in. But what are predictions for this week? How do you suppose people are going to do?
Wouldn't it be harder than A and below week? And not many people perfect A and below week, so I don't know.
No, because there's no
there's
there's no damage reduction and there's no HP increase. So, and we literally
did we
have
HP for A and below.
Didn't we? Didn't we
We
have
never
the
had
HP?
a increase because we haven't had an A and below 3-turn arena.
Oh, okay. When was the last A and below?
Before we went 3-turn.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we don't even know what it would be like with 3-turn yet. I should probably get on those maps, but everything was so out of order that I didn't feel like updating the maps because I don't want to have to edit. It makes the whole section look a lot like clunkier than it has to be. So I'd rather just post it when everything is back. But I guess I'll have to start now that C and Below Week is finally in, and I guess everything else is going to be released normally now. Hopefully, we'll see what Malcolm decides. He doesn't decide, but what the devs decide to do, and whether or not our feedback gets. Because I did tell them, hey, if you guys do want to squeeze things in quickly, just run 2 weeks at the same time. Because I know we're ahead. It's not by much, but we're still a little bit ahead of JP on their timeline. Some of the things that we have are inline, like Arena, because glitches. I mean, not Arena, Guild and Guild Arena, because glitches. But other things have been early, just by a little bit, even a week, some things, and Blooms have been super early. But obviously the timeline's what matters, and I think we've only been 1 week early for stuff like DQ 8 and now Die. I think we've been like a week early, right? It feels like that. At least from me doing the maps, I think it was us being a week early. But yeah, what are your predictions, Celery? Since Trop thinks people are going to have a hard time, I don't think people are going to have a hard time because 3 turns. We've never had 3 turns, no HP increase, no damage reduction on units. Some of these units have A rank abilities. Others have B rank abilities. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that hard to perfect.
I'll predict no -4s.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
No -4s. The only question is whether people generally lose points, charge in and just have it be a bloodbath, or if they're more strategic. So I'm going to say it's a week where people they're not used to the units, and they don't use them a lot, or they don't use them, so they're not used to them. So I think it's going to be a low amount of perfects. Let's say 30.
Okay, so with my current team, it looks like it's roughly 16.2 thousand CP. I think I'm wearing the wrong equipment, but it's above 16k CP. So I'm issuing a challenge to Metazoa, no bots, and nothing below 16k CP.
Only the hardest teams.
No shit. The counter to Metazoa, because Metazoa had his way with the
No
weightless
teams
team.
without Cub. No teams without Drachima or Canny Box
Only
or
fight
Mana
Kage.
War. Only teams with Mana War and Drachima and Canny Box. Wait, does Canny Box count as debuff? Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? So that's another debuff.
Okay, I was wondering about him.
Yeah, I forgot to mention him. Yeah, so out of all the units that could really screw people up this week to make them do 4 turns, my Canny Box is probably one of them because he's pretty fast.
Pretty fast.
And
6 range.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. And the whole arena is open, so there's no tile that he can't hit with breath. You know, further than Drachima could hit with snooze.
Yep.
So he just has more range no matter what. Linear, even though it's a linear rather than could do the diagonal thing. He's just better. This is gonna be so much fun. Oh no, I did his challenge unwillingly last week. So that's just how fate would have it. And then fate made me lose the challenge anyways. The very last challenge was I'll give it a try. I'll do bots on day 1, but everything past day 1, I'm gonna do a few practice matches. I'm gonna see if it's even possible to just do that. And I think it is. I think it's not gonna be as hard as I make it out to be. I just know it's not Metazoa's play style. And he's not as invested as I am. He went hard on Mana War, didn't he? But he's not as invested as I am on C and Below Week. I feel like. So we'll see. We'll see. It should be fun. I do want to see him out of his element. How's Element doing in Arena this lately? How have you been doing with that Trop?
I haven't been watching him recently, but I saw him as of yesterday, a few days ago. He was only -8, so I don't know if he kept that up or.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think he improved almost immediately. Has he capped out on his growth? Seems like.
I don't know. It's tough to say.
It just feels like Judge is he's like the most improved now by default, because it's like Element's already kind of gotten into his element. And Judge is on his way though, so that's good. You coached him through his matches today.
Kind of always been scoring in the 2600s at least, whereas Judge is just kind of getting there.
Yeah.
Walk you.
They have comparable accounts, right? Who has the higher CP account? I forget. Because Element hasn't been spending since,
since the Great Depression.
Yeah. But there was a time that his account probably was higher CP. We won't speak of why, but there was a time.
Thank you.
Yeah, but then he got demoted.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I think Judge is higher CP.
Yeah, I think Judge has better CP, so that's good for him. That's gonna help us out on arena defense. Look out for Judge; he's gonna be a monster. Element though, surprisingly, Element stopped, spending for CP, and he's gotten better at arena. It's just so surprising. I wonder what happened.
Just priorities, I decided to start looking at the arena side of things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think you saw our guild slogan, what it says when everyone checks out our guild.
Yep.
Ran
You
out
guys
of
saw that,
life.
right?
Yeah.
That's our slogan in the guild. So everyone that joins it takes an oath.
Looks like Mystic got a -8 on no bots, but his was just being dumb. So I got -8, and that was like unavoidable, like whatever. And then the second -8, it wasn't avoidable, and then it was avoidable because I had 40% RNG to get a perfect in that match, and then I landed it, and then I just threw it in the. I don't know. I threw it in the trash. But yeah, so it was totally possible. So is what it is. All right, I think that concludes this week. It's a pretty straightforward week. It should be fun. It should be easy. I think there's going to be, I don't know, maybe there might even, no one plays like us, right? There's going to be a lot of people losing units because there's no HP, there's no things. I noticed on the other week that HP wasn't increased. We had, I think -8 was top 50. And I was shocked by that because I was like, but this week is so easy. You just play Dolmagus. Everybody attacks Dolmagus. And you know, because his HP was so low, he would just get targeted. And I was shocked that people were like, this is such a difficult week. And there wasn't like, it wasn't like other weeks where top like 60 was all perfect or something. So I don't know, maybe you still can get top 50 with -8, but I feel like it's going to be an easier, at least from our perspective, it's going to be one of those easy weeks. Even for you, Trop, you haven't invested heavily. I probably didn't even need to invest this heavily into it. That's probably my regret going into it, is I didn't need this much investment for this week. For what? Like, I was probably going to win it anyway if I was going to win it. And if I'm going to lose it, it's because it's Night Pack or something else. Like, no amount of investment's going to change that.
And imagine if after all this investment, you get a server disconnect. That'd be the worst, but we got to hope to not be
okay,
unlucky.
let's not jinx me now. All right.
Just imagine.
But that's
Be on the
server
very
side,
last
so there's
match.
no controlling that, you know? Like, it's just like if the game assets were updating for like a half second and it kicked you or something, and it didn't save your arena match, but it saved that you attempted, and then you didn't get any points. It's kind of like doing your arena match and then the update hits, but it's like a micro update. In this
I don't know
case,
who would ever risk that.
I don't know who would ever risk on a real update, but I feel like a disconnect is almost imitating an update in which, you know, there's just for a second that the server just croaks or something.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Have to not be unlucky enough to be in an arena match, or I guess the beginning of an arena match. I don't know, or do you think it would happen at any point in an arena match?
The
That's even
disconnect?
scarier.
I think it's any point. Because the second you start the match, it counts that you made the attempt, right? And if you disconnect, it's not going to do the thing where it says resume, right? If it's just like how when the game updates, when it's done updating, it doesn't ask you, do you want to resume your match? No, it doesn't. It just gets rid of that. So I think the server disconnect is something similar to that, but like for like even just a fraction of a second disconnect on their side. Just like how an update is like 2, 5, 8, 18 hours long sometimes. This is just like a fraction of a second of the exact same thing as that without an update. That's what I feel like it is.
Because for you, it happened like before the enemy team, like before you could start the match.
Yeah.
But for Nobunaga, I think it might have been the same for Avery. But for Nobunaga, he said his disconnect happened after the preparation, like when he hit start battle. That's when he got disconnected.
Oh.
And
Because he was preparing his team like in the
Celery,
loads.
I think we fixed the disconnect issue. We banned disconnects, so it's done. No more server disconnects. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. Hope that doesn't happen again. Because I was gonna say, It's unfortunate what happened to me, but if it happens during Guild Wars, that's even more unfortunate because then it hurts the whole guild. So we have to hope it doesn't. There's not really any playing around it. I guess just finish your matches as quickly as you can. No, I'm just kidding. I guess it helps if you stream your matches because then if it happens on stream,
Yeah, you at least get some video proof to send in to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can imagine just with what we described here, it's not too hard to imagine that if updates can kick people, that this disconnect on their end could kick people, and it's exactly the same thing. I don't see that. Like, they don't need footage to understand how that works, I think. I mean, what are they going to do? Go through his game files and then check? And I don't know.
Well, I mean, just for like the compensation or whatever, because I tried filing a ticket and they didn't really care. They're like, oh, sorry.
I filed a ticket for my thing. What was it? My passport not showing up, and they're like, oh yeah, here's the process you need to follow if your passport doesn't show up. And I was like, I know I did that. I want the compensation now. Give me the compensation. Because other people said they got compensation. They said they got 100 gems and they got the gold that they missed, basically. I'm gonna probably have to message them back about that.
Be like, okay,
4,000 gold is 4,000 gold, and I'll take 100 gems over, losing how much ever XP it was on all those units that I could have got XP on.
XP, skip tickets.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like 100 gems is worth that, at least that many skip tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even offered anything because they're probably not used to people complaining about Arena. They're like, okay, like we get what you're saying, but what is Arena?
No, they do. They get complaints all the time. There's this guy that said, hey, I spent $5,000. Why am I not in first place?
Yeah,
I feel like they've gotten that a lot.
Hey, I keep running into this
Elena, and she keeps critting me, and I keep missing. Why does that keep happening?
I keep losing to Elena. I can't hit her with physical and martial moves.
You should just delete her from the game. Just remove her from Arena. Just ban her.
Oh, do we think that? How many people do we think are getting first place this week? There could be a lot because waitlist people generally tend to do well.
Oh, this week? I have no idea. Last I checked, we were at 94. That was like yesterday, the day before I checked.
94?
Yeah.
In first?
Yeah.
Damn it. So I'm going to be top 100, maybe.
Maybe.
There's not a lot of 4s there, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if with your minus 16 you ever had hope of top 50, like waitlist week.
Yeah, I didn't, but I thought other people would have done terribly because, again, I went through all the matches on day one, and maybe I was going through the matches and intentionally targeting whales at a certain point which wasn't hard to do. Again, when I finished my first 3 matches, it was mostly just whales anyway, because it was still early enough that there's no bots, but there's whales. So I was doing test matches, and it was ridiculously hard. Again, everything was spread out. It wasn't like towards the end of the week where everything was clustered in the middle. It was awful. I don't know who could beat some of those matches. I mean, if I had a whale account myself, maybe, but or if I was instructing a whale. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it would have been worse because of just that, but I guess not everyone got hit as bad as I did. That was like a very biased perspective.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that covers everything. Unless you guys have anything to note, any guild news, any other things you wanted to talk about, future units, maybe Guild v Guild. Are we getting that update? Do we know?
I don't know. I was really hoping so, but
because if it doesn't come, was it today? then it's probably going to be put off till next month, right?
Hmm.
Right? Because it's always week 3 and 4 in a month. Something like that. No?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So that would have to start on the 17th, maybe the 18th at the latest. So we should get.
I love it how server disconnect keeps trying to come back. You know, all I have to do is press a button. You have to go through, I don't know what you have to go through to do your maybe it's rewarding for him though. Maybe he's a glutton for punishment. So I don't know.
Oh, is there someone in the YouTube chat named Server Disconnect?
I banned him. It was Starscream.
Well, I know, yeah. Isn't it the same as Draconic Dino?
It was the same as
He's
Luke.
making
Like,
me
it was funny because he popped in as Luke, and I'm like, hello, Starscream. Like, immediately, it's like, because he'd never done that before. I was just like, hello.
That's funny. As Luke, yeah. He has
Like-
so many accounts now.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing to him.
Yeah, but he'd never done it before at that point, and then immediately called him out.
Oh, so he got you?
Huh?
So he fooled you? You
No,
thought
he
was,
didn't. What I meant is I immediately called him out on it, like, because he just did the Luke
Oh.
thing, and he typed in one message as Luke, like, stop stalking me, and I'm like, okay, fine, Starscream.
Look, we're making him connect so many different accounts. I didn't even know you could have a YouTube account named Server Disconnect.
You could name it whatever you want these days, because it's more like a Google account than it is a YouTube account. So you don't have to have your YouTube channel as that name, but that's technically your Google account name or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Yep. What was that one social media Google was trying to do that so failed? It was Google something. You guys remember?
Plus.
Yeah.
Google Plus. Yeah, and then you had the Google chat rooms with that. Yeah, that was funny. That's basically, this is the remnants of that. That's that account name. That's why you're able, because he could walk in as PewDiePie, even though that name is taken as a YouTube name, right? But he could have that as his Google Plus or whatever it is name. Anyways, guys, we've gone on for too long. This has been The Pack. And if you want to join The Pack with The Pack and Celery and Trop, subscribe down below. If you want to, their accounts are also in the description down below. If you want to, what's the next line? I just screwed myself up there. If you want to join The Pack with The Pack, go ahead and subscribe down below. If you like this video, then like this video. If you have something to say, write down in the comments down below. If you want to support the Arena Watch podcast, go ahead and share. If you want to see more Arena Watch podcasts, go ahead and hit that bell icon for notifications, guys. This ain't Twitch. Join Kage's gaming Discord server for all the best underground DQT conversations. And join my server for all the best DQT guides. Anyways, guys, this has been The Pack. Signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.